if you have not watched the first couple of episodes of the series, please do, because well, you don't have to, but it will make much more sense, a lot more sense if you did. So if you want to, I suggest you go check out the first couple of episodes, and let's get started. All right, the morning calls. Nah, JK, it was actually so freaking dark. It was literally 6 in the morning, and everyone was supposed to wake up for some reason, but the sun has not yet come over the trees, so the entire camp was literally pitch black. But everyone else literally had a decent amount of sunlight. Like, everyone else in the entire world had sunlight, except for us, because we were hidden by trees. Alright, because no one really opened the windows, the night ended up being really hot. And it just got super stuffy in my sleeping bag. So it found its way onto the floor. I was on the top bunk, by the way, mind you. So it found its way to the floor, and yeah, that was pretty interesting. So everyone got up at around the exact same time, which is like 6 a.m. or something. And we had like 30 minutes for us to shower and use the restroom and everything to get ready. So I go into the restroom in the hallway to brush my teeth and like wash my face and everything, right? And by the time I get back, I hear chants coming in and out of the shower saying and chanting, like literally, so like the whole world can hear, "Let's get going, please." Like the entire cabin room erupts into the loudest chant that literally echoes throughout the entire mountains. But not really, it felt like it though. After everyone gets ready to go for breakfast, we have like 20 minutes left, so we ended up using that time to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It was pretty cool. We also had these like booklet things that we had to fill out. Like, it had a bunch of like blanks and stuff in it, and we had to put like answers in it or whatever. We ended up doing that during the free time as well, so I spent some of that time filling in the work and playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! And then afterwards, we all went to breakfast. We walked to the exact same basketball courts where they brought us on the first day. They literally sat us all down in rows based on our hiking groups instead of our cabins. Then they decided, hey, we want these kids to starve. So they decided to make my group go last. We went last yesterday. Yeah. Alright, so we went last. We got our food. It was decent food. We sat down at a table and I knew literally like one person in my group. So we just talked, and it was kind of awkward because no one else really knew each other, and we didn't really try to get to know each other, so we just kind of ate there in awkward silence. After we ate, we ended up going back out to the basketball courts where they let us go back into our cabins and get ready for our day activities, aka we had to grab our backpacks, change into any hiking boots or whatever we were going to change into, and then we meet back at the basketball court in our hiking groups. We did that. We got back to the basketball courts, and they brought us out to do our first couple of activities. Now, the days following this, mainly day 2 and 3, involved a lot of hiking, but it wasn't anything compared to what would happen next. We'll get to that later, but for now, we'll only talk about days 2, 3, and 4. So, on day 2, we ended up doing a lot of exploratory things around the camp itself. They showed us like all the areas around the camp. We got to see like a pond thing where we would eventually swim in it on like the 4th day or whatever and get all of our clothes wet. We would see where the teachers would sleep in like these actually nice cabins that were like high-rised and everything. They had balconies. They literally just looked down at us and waved and were like, "Hello, we have to flex on you. We actually have beds." And we also like saw this like huge hiking trail to this tree that I tried to climb and fell off of and got like severely injured. Now it was more like a scratch, but whatever. Also, there was a road that cut the camp in half for some reason. On the other side of the camp was like a really tall hill called Strawberry Peak, which they would have us climb. It was about 100 or 1,000 feet in elevation more than what we were currently at, so it was kind of unreasonable for us to get to the top, but they wanted us to get to the top anyways. So we ended up dedicating around 3 hours of our time just to get to the top of that stupid peak. Anyways, but that's on the 5th day. I will explain more about that later. Alright, after that, lunch was okay. They still made fun of us for leaving back like scrap food and extra food that we didn't like eat. and they also made fun of us for the drinks that we did not drink. I don't know why they did that. They called it like ort or whatever. They took our food and they used it for compost or whatever, but I'm pretty sure they just threw it out. Honestly, I don't see a reason to save old food scraps. But honestly, I think that was just their way of saying, don't waste food, only take what you need. Yeah. And eventually we got it, but it took a bit, so I don't know. It also felt kind of bad that hey, we were all wasting all this food, but like everything that I got, I like ate no problem. I think I overate some nights just because I was afraid of contributing to this large bucket of food waste that was probably gonna get rubbed in our faces and like, hey, you're wasting food, it's bad for the environment. So I ended up undereating sometimes and overeating when I accidentally got too much food that I couldn't finish. I don't think it's a healthy thing to do for your brain, but hey, at least now you kind of get to learn your limits on eating. Afterwards, we got our free time. There was like, we got to play basketball on the basketball court. Like, I wasn't really a basketball kid. I never really was. But I did play a little bit of basketball. We also got to go inside like a gym thing. It was like an actual basketball court gym with bleachers and everything. And we got to play a couple of activities like jump rope and dodgeball and basketball and that thing too. So it was pretty cool in there. Afterwards, we went back to our cabins. We stopped down and we literally just played Yu-Gi-Oh for the rest of the afternoon. Afterwards, we all got ready to go to dinner. This dinner was a bit special because we actually got to go first. That was the only special part of the dinner, which I was actually kind of happy about. So we got our food, sat down, and we actually tried talking to our hiking members, and we got to know a couple of them a bit. After that, I severely underate the second day dinner because I was afraid of contributing extra food waste into the ort bucket or whatever it was called. So I ended up just undereating that day. It was kind of miserable. The sleep on that night was a lot better because we actually learned how to open the windows. I was taking a shower and then all of a sudden, like, we hear a "let's get going please." Like, this is going to become a really common theme for some reason. Also, we noticed that whenever Topher would hike, he always, okay, like, not even when he was hiking, just around camp in general, he always wore green Crocs, like those sandal shoes, like Crocs, the Croc brand. He wore green colored Crocs, like dark green Crocs, without any socks on, all the time when he was hiking. I was like, dude, doesn't that hurt your feet? He was like, nah, I'm used to it. Dude, don't your like feet get like wood chips or whatever inside of them? Nah, I'm used to it. And guess what? Every night when he took off his Crocs, his feet were like pitch black, dude. There's so much dirt and like dust on his feet. They were literally black. Like, I mean, guarantee 9 out of 10 of you guys, if you look at the bottom of your feet, there's no dirt or dust. This man was an absolute madman. He had like literally the sole of his feet were like dark. They were actually dirty. Like, someone took charcoal and literally rubbed it on the bottom of his feet. So every day when he was in the staff showers, he would just wash his feet and he's like, "Hey guys, I washed my feet. It's not black anymore." And we were all like, "Oh God." And then the next morning he would be like, "Guys, my feet are so dirty." And then we were all like, "Oh God." Right? But this man, he was an absolute legend. Also, every night he also read us like a book or whatever, or like a podcast or something. I don't know. He read us a story about like satellites, and he also played his ukulele for us when we went to sleep. So that was pretty cool. Day 3 wasn't that much different from day 2, honestly, except for the fact that we got to do a lot more like actual interactive things, like learning about the life cycle, learning about the water cycle, learning about how predators and prey worked. Yeah, it was kind of stupid, but honestly, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. So that was overall great. Except when I slept on day 3, it was really miserable because it was like way too hot, even with the window open. For some reason, it was like way too hot. So I ended up sleeping halfway off the bed. Yeah. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you. Bye-bye.